A system finds something, a pattern, a relationship, a structure no one was looking for, no hypothesis, no question. No one decided to search for it. It just appears. No one expected it. No one was even looking for it. And yet, it's there, complete, useful, and already being used before anyone fully understands what it is. In systems like DeepMind's AlphaFold, structures were predicted that scientists had spent decades trying to map, not by asking better questions, but by letting the system explore patterns humans couldn't see. Some discoveries are now being made without anyone deciding what to look for. That's the shift, not when AI started helping research, when discovery stopped needing human curiosity to begin. Discovery used to begin with a question. Someone noticed something. Something didn't fit. Something didn't make sense. And they asked, why? That question shaped everything that followed. What to study, what to measure, what to ignore. Curiosity gave direction. Effort gave meaning. A scientist didn't just find something. They chose what mattered enough to look for. When discovery begins with human questions, curiosity defines what gets explored. You still recognize this. You search for something. You choose a direction. You follow it. That moment where you decide, this is worth understanding, that decision used to sit at the center of discovery. It meant discovery followed intention. A human chose the direction, and everything else aligned around that choice. What mattered was defined before anything was found. Now that starting point is changing. Systems don't begin with questions. They begin with data. Massive data sets, too large for any human to fully interpret. No single person can see the whole picture. No team can track every relationship, so the system doesn't try to understand everything. It simply looks for anything that stands out, and instead of asking what to look for, it simply looks for anything that stands out. Patterns, correlations, structures, relationships. In DeepMind's AlphaTensor, the system discovered new ways to perform matrix multiplication, a fundamental operation in computing that human mathematicians hadn't identified. Not because humans weren't trying, but because no one thought to look in that direction. The space of possible answers is too large. Too many paths, too many combinations. The system moves through them without needing to justify why a path is worth exploring. In particle physics, AI systems analyzing data from places like CERN's Large Hadron Collider help detect anomalies across billions of events, patterns too subtle and too complex for humans to track directly. No one is watching each event. The system is, and it flags what matters. When systems explore data without predefined questions, discovery begins without human direction. You've seen a version of this. You open something expecting to search, and the answer is already there. Suggested, surfaced, before you asked for it. That moment feels helpful, but it also means you didn't choose what to look for. The system did. And once something is surfaced that way, it carries a different kind of authority, not because you understand it, but because it was found by something that sees more than you can. The real shift isn't speed, it's intention. Discovery no longer requires someone deciding, this is what we're looking for. Systems surface results, then humans interpret them after. In drug discovery, platforms like Insilico Medicine's AI systems generate potential molecular structures for new treatments. Before researchers fully understand why those structures work, the discovery appears first. Explanation comes later, sometimes much later, and sometimes not at all. Sometimes the explanation never fully arrives. The result works. It produces outcomes. It gets used, even if the reasoning behind it remains incomplete or unclear. You feel this in smaller ways. You find something, read something, watch something, and only afterwards realize you didn't go looking for it. It was placed in front of you. When discovery happens before intention, humans begin following insights rather than creating them. And once that happens, the role changes. You're no longer initiating discovery, you're responding to it. Nothing slows down. In fact, everything accelerates. More discoveries, faster insights, more breakthroughs, but something changes. You're no longer deciding what matters to explore. You're reacting to what systems reveal. You no longer begin the process. You enter it halfway through, after something has already been identified as important, after the direction has already been set. That changes how discovery feels, because discovery used to include struggle, effort, direction, the sense that something was found because someone chose to look. Now, things can be found without that. When discovery no longer requires human direction, meaning begins to separate from curiosity. You may already feel the edge of this. Information appears, insights surface, answers arrive, but they don't feel earned in the same way. Because you didn't choose the question, you didn't follow the path, you didn't decide where to look. And over time, that changes something subtle. Not just what we discover, but how we relate to discovery itself. Because if you're no longer deciding what matters to find, the question changes. Not what should we discover, but what are we being shown? And once that shift happens, direction doesn't disappear. It moves away from you. And once direction moves away from you, so does ownership. Discovery still happens, but it no longer feels like something that belongs to us in the same way. If we're no longer choosing what to discover, who decides what matters? If this made you think differently about how discovery is happening around you, hit the like button. It helps more people recognize what's already changing. Subscribe to become part of The Unlocked, where we explore how intelligence, systems, and power are quietly reshaping what it means to understand the world. And if someone you know still believes discovery always starts with a human question, share this with them. Because the future isn't coming, it's already here.